Welcome everyone to a game, high elo ranked game between White Court playing here in the yellow as the Saracens up against Chris playing in the blue as the Britons. Now if you don't know who Chris is, Chris was one of the best players back when Doubt was playing. Oh wait, Doubt's still playing. Chris was one of the best players back in like 2003, I think, before Viper ever thought about the game. Around the time some of today's top players were born, that's when Chris was dominating the game, and Chris is still a dominant force in the game at 2K2 plus, playing up against White Court, who's a name that we see every now and then in that second tier or third tier of players. Really solid player, also right at 2K2. These players are only about 10 elo apart, or 20 at the time of this game. Now, we're hopping into this game because we just had a game with Chris versus a player I'm not going to name right now, but he was playing up against somebody, and he drushed him. 2 militia drush, got a Vil kill, and player just resigned. Just immediately resigned, wanted no part of that type of gameplay. Now that was on Arabia as well, but that was on a dry Arabia. This is not a dry Arabia, and I say that dry Arabia, just mean one of the desert Arabias. And the desert Arabias tend to be, I don't know if this is tied to the desert theme or if it just happens a lot. The desert Arabias tend to be a lot more open. These Arabias tend to have a lot of vegetation, bigger forest. You can see this is very wallable for Chris and really pretty good for White Court as well. If we look at the maps, we see the berries forward on a hill for White Court, not what you want to see. Chris's are directly behind his town center, but the gold mine on the other side is forward, pretty well forward. Pretty well protected by this wood line though. And the gold mine over here on a hill again. So these are awkward hills, very hilly Arabia. Awkward for TC expansions. Trying to think, TC is going to probably come up here, or here, like very awkward. But White Court is gold and is more protected. Now, this looks like the same build that Chris did last time. No, it's not. Alright, it was a pre-mill rush last time. This time Chris builds a mill, but pushing in all of his deer very greedily. On the other side, White Court doing the same type of thing, pushing in a lot of deer, bringing in his second boar. And Chris doing the same thing, pretty much identical gameplay so far. Now, if we think about these civilizations and what they like to do and the bonuses that they bring to the table, like Britons. Britons have extra range on their archers, I believe, starting in Feudal Age, but if not, maybe, well, I don't know, starting at some point, they get extra range. Castle Age, they have extra range. Imperial Age, lots of extra range. And Chris gonna find a villager exposed out here, walling up for White Court. And Chris gonna try to get the Vil kill, dodging the TC fire, unable to get the Vil kill, and almost losing his scout. But at the same time, White Court takes a big chunk out of his scout as well. So both players losing a lot of scout HP. Britons also have faster sheep, and that sheep gather rate includes turkeys and deer. It's herdables, alright? Herdables. Herdables are new to the game. If you didn't know, the game was played forever with just sheep and deer and boar. No turkeys, no goats, no pigs, no rhinos, none of that nonsense. White Court walling up very defensively, walling to the town center, knowing the Britons are likely to go archers, and if your opponent's going archers, you can just wall to your TC very smartly. Done. And Chris on the way to the Feudal Age very quickly. Only 18 villagers. That's a fast uptime. And now he's got to get some gold. Where are these villagers headed? Gonna be a forward archer play. So Chris is playing very aggressively today. Heading forward to drop an archer range. Does not yet have a barracks. Needs to drop that in a hurry. Okay, drops the barracks halfway across the map. Then it's going to be a forward archer range on that berry bush, I would guess. White Court trying to figure out what's going on. But Chris, you need gold, right? Or am I crazy? Okay, no. Chris, what are you doing? Don't really know what Chris's plan is. Chris, just forget gold. Dropping the archer range in the middle of the map as well. Interesting. White court trying to scout out what's going on here. Probably realizes something's up. Oh, the Saracens bonus. Let's talk about those. Their archers shoot through buildings, and they get market rate discount. So basically, Chris going old school with this. Oh, I love it. This is classic gameplay, guys. You don't get to see this very often. Old school gameplay, laming it up, dropping the palisade walls. He says, I just want to clear you off the berries. You can't do anything if you're off the berries, and that's pretty substantial. Villagers, spearmen, and skirmishers. Now this scout, not going to find any damage. This is old school because it's trash. A trash flood. And I don't know if this tower goes up. This tower is probably going to go up and right back down. As you can see, the HP moving up pretty slowly here. And more skirmishers coming in. The trash flood from the center of the map going at it old school. This is epic. I didn't expect to see such a cool play. Chris gives it up, gives up this position, says you can have that tower. The tower's on only about 50% HP. I thought since he was already there, he would have gone ahead and battered it down, but I guess he was afraid of... I don't know what he was afraid of. But the skirmishers continue, and it's a tower being added by Chris himself to continue denying the berries. This play is all about denying the berries. And this is working pretty well so far for Chris with this large military, and you're going to want to wall that up, bud. It's going to be hard to do, especially with the enemy barracks there. He's going to do his best, and yep, there come the villagers building a tower, and the skirmishers not going to be in play. Chris, you need to garrison. He does so. Garrisoning, but this is forcing two towers out of White Court. White Court on stone pretty heavily as Chris moves around. Going to be hitting that wood line here in just a second. At the moment, the KD is still 0-0, which is why a lot of modern players have abandoned this sort of strategy. Aw, Chris, I would have loved to see you wall that in. He didn't finish those walls at all. But in on the villagers, causing more idle time. A lot of new players have abandoned this because you don't actually kill anything with it. It's just harassment. Although, as I say that, a villager goes down. Chris has no upgrades on anything, has stopped production, and is just out here chilling. What is he interested in this? Interested indeed. Whoops, sorry about that. Clicked, misclick. And if you look at the worker efficiency, White Court down around 50%, struggling with worker efficiency. And this is such an awkward game here. White Court fighting villagers against spearmen. Now, if we go to the resources, well, I guess we don't need to go to the resources down there. Chris, still not that close to Castle Age. The KD 0-2. White Court having lost 2 units overall at this point, and Chris having lost none. White Court being forced into towers. Good defensive towers. Protects that berries. But this worker efficiency has been pretty awkward for White Court, and Chris has been completely protected at home. Now, the awkward thing about this strategy is production buildings are in the middle of the map. Chris, though, transitioning into archers. This is nice, and it dropped a market. And with the market, looks like nothing really happening just yet. Blacksmith coming down for White Court, so he intends to stay here in the feudal age. And that's something these Saracens can do, is go up faster with their better market rates, and that's almost what I would have expected instead of continuing on in the feudal age. against the Britons here when you have that ease of getting up. And Chris just went ahead and lamed that stone mine up a bit. That's not an annoying lame, really. You just build here and it doesn't bother you unless you're trying to super saturate it. And Chris pressuring on the left. I would love to see him. Nope, he brought this army around. I would have loved to see him move some soldiers. Where are they? Over to the left. This army. This army I would love to see swoop in on the left and cause some more problems, force another tower down, maybe that type of thing. But Chris is on the way to the Castle Age. And he dropped a stable to clear up all these skirmishers. I think he'll be able to do so. And White Court paused, and that's what to start the game already. Pause and, sorry, go. They're headed off. Big engagement here in the middle. And it's, these scouts are a massive part of this, but they got to stay alive. And fighting the spearmen, the scouts do not stay alive. Is there another scout on the way out? No scout on the way out. So these skirmishers are definitely in the favor of White Court at the moment. And in the archery, it's just 2 archers. No more being produced. So this castle timing's nice, but it's not going to accomplish a whole lot. Blacksmith finally being added, and this wall is unnecessary. Okay. Another archery range, right? Yes, another archery range. So going to be going into crossbows. But unfortunately, this timing's not that effective because there's no archers that are being made crossbows. And it's fletching being researched, not bodkin. White Court, though, panic walling up. 3 villagers getting those walls down. Wants no part of being rushed anymore. And what Chris has been able to accomplish with this is a pretty much completely safe build-up, walling off a large portion of the map, now adding a second town center with the cheap Britain town centers, another bonus for the Britons, and getting himself into crossbowmen and having map control. And he's over here mining stone, by the way, just out in the middle of nowhere. With White Court 1,000 stone now as the Saracens, not a big deal to have that much extra stone. Just sell it. But White Court doesn't have a market. He's not up yet, doesn't have a market, isn't close to being up yet. Has 1,000 stone and decides to stone wall the left side of his base. He's got towers up the middle. And White Court's got to get up. I don't love this decision by him to just stonewall and stay in the feudal age. You got to get to Castle Age. Get on the way up. White Court, you got to get up. Market finally being dropped. And this is Saracens. You don't want to see that. A knight added for Chris. He had that forward stable, able to bring a knight out and clean up all that feudal army for White Court. White Court looking pretty shredded at the moment. Like, I'm not sure what White Court is supposed to do about this. It's a bad situation if you're White Court. And GG. Yep, White Court just calls it. Chris, clinical with the execution. Just showing you what the old school gameplay can bring. Old school strats. Chris has more strats than you've ever seen. Let's check out the statistics in this game. Military stats. White Court struggling to get the KD. Army high. Chris just barely more. Economy. Chris better economy. All that idle time and causing 1,400 stone to be gathered by White Court. If White Court dropped a market earlier, it might have worked out. Chris also faster castle time. White Court never even clicked up to my knowledge. Society stats the same. Neither village, neither person really did a whole lot there. Just pretty even there, except you do see for society idle time on the TC equal to the research age up time. It's kind of bad. For White Court, it's rough. There's a lot of pressure, and both players around 70 APM. I hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, just drop a subscribe, drop a like. If you didn't, move on, drop a dislike. It's all good. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. We'll see you in the next one.